Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader, your guide to a clearer perspective. I have a high vibration message for Cancer today. This is one that is channeled from Spirit and my guides for your benefit. Cancer, it's a little bit interesting. The cards to me seem to be so obviously talking about a relationship, but I'm also thinking this could be a choice. So if this is not talking about a relationship for you, think about the idea of choice, and I will do my best to speak to both. We've got the moon for the energy that the universe sends you. And this is funny because Cancer, you are ruled by the moon. So this is an energy that's very at home for you. But this is a kind of cautionary, like watch out. Things aren't always what they seem at night. And the thing with the moon energy is that it shifts and changes. And it's in all these different shiftings that you actually begin to see reality, the full picture of reality. But the problem is when you conclude that only one of those shiftings is reality, then you miss all the other pictures. So the moon changes places every 2 or 3 days. It changes astrological signs every 2 or 3 days. And so to really understand the full picture, you almost have to wait a lunar cycle for the moon to kind of transition through all those different energies. So I'm not saying you have to wait a month to make a decision, but it's just to give you an idea. Sometimes when the lunar energy is what's guiding you or what you're being presented with, you have to be very careful that you don't just assume that it is what it is. So let me see if I can also explain that a different way. You know how your shadow moves during the day? And also how if you have something in one place and the sun keeps moving, the shape of that shadow changes. It would be a mistake to look at that thing at 9 o'clock and say, okay, this is the shape of the shadow. Because in 3 hours, the shadow is going to be a completely different shape. So you see how reality is not just one snapshot in time. Like if the sun's out, you know exactly where everything is. This reality that the universe is giving you, it's shifting and changing. And some parts are going to be hidden and some parts are going to be clear. But you have to just keep waiting and watching. Now we've got the Lovers for the energy that you respond. And so you're thinking of making a choice. And I think for some of you, this is about, should I enter into this relationship or not? I'm thinking that you're being presented with an opportunity to enter into a relationship with someone, and you're kind of thinking, should I do this? Should I come together with them? For others, you're being presented with a decision or a choice, and it's something new, it's something inviting, and it looks like it's new, it's like a new dawn, like it's a new start. But again, beware, because all of this is happening under the moon energy. It's not happening in the clarity of day or even the harmony of the star card. This is happening in the moon. So let's keep going. I'm going to try to hold up all 5. I was saying in another reading, I wish I was an octopus so I could hold up all of these cards for you. 7 of Wands, 9 of Cups, but look at this, the Chernunos, the Devil card. And look at this card. Look at this. These are the lovers kind of before and during. These are the lovers afterwards, but look at who they've awakened. Look at what spot they're in. They're not in a great place. So let me put these down. You feel that this choice or this person or this invitation, relationship, whatever, you feel like this is a wish fulfilled for you. And you are ready to defend yourself, nail, tooth, and claw. Tooth, nail, and claw. I don't know what that phrase is, but you know what I'm saying. You are ready to defend yourself against anyone else who is saying to you, you know, maybe it's too early, or maybe you should gather more information, or maybe just take your time on this one. You're kind of fending them off, saying, no, it's fine. This is what I've wanted. This is everything I've wanted. All of the pieces line up. Everything is good. But have you ever heard that phrase, it's too good to be true? That's where we end up. They come together, they're unaware, but they've awakened this kind of demonic force. Oh, that sounds too dark. And I'm not saying you've like literally awakened a demon, but there are things that you're unaware of. There are negative vices or negative consequences on both sides. There's negative elements. And you know, that's part of making an informed choice about everything. There is no such thing as a perfect choice. There are positives, and then there are opportunity costs. And to make an informed, mature decision, we have to look at both, because there is never going to be the perfect one or the perfect job or the perfect whatever. It's all in a balance, because the perfect only exists in our mind. And that's part of the problem. You've envisioned a perfect relationship and it's maybe too early. And at first, everything looks just right. This could be a job as well, or like I said, an opportunity. It's too early. You're only seeing, it's like pre-honeymoon stage, but you're only seeing the good elements. And you're only seeing the parts that fit your own fantasy about what it truly is. So, again, you've wanted this for so long. You've had an idea of what it looks like for so long that you're just not listening to another aspect of it. You're not willing to take in more information than what you've already decided it is. So again, whether this is people saying to you, maybe let's take some time, maybe slow down and kind of take it easy, or maybe you should ask questions, or whether you've got the little voice of your conscience saying, hey, maybe we should slow down. Maybe we could take this a little bit slower. If this is the thing, if this is right for me, I don't have to decide right now, because it will still be here for me tomorrow or next week. If it's right for me, it's still going to be there. Whatever it is, you're hearing some kind of voice from somewhere saying to you, hey, let's think this again. And you're like, no, this is perfect. But again, look at where this ends up. It doesn't end up the place you thought you started. You thought it was going to be love and beautiful and something new, but they're caught in the middle of a negative entanglement. So I want to jump to your advice cards, because we've got, again, 7 of Cups and we've got 5 of Swords. So this is telling us, okay, lost in fantasy, not looking at what's there, but it's cautionary that if you continue on this path, it's going to come at a definite cost to you. And I'm not saying that this person or job is wrong. This may be right, but the way you're entering it is going to come at a cost. Because jumping in, knowing exactly what's on the bottom of the pool or what's on the bottom of the ocean is different than blindly jumping into the pool or the ocean because you have an ideal about what's there. So knowing something authentically, knowing the good and the bad, the positive and the negative, and choosing is an empowered choice. But leaping in because your fantasy demands to be fed is a completely different choice. And when you jump in with that fantasy, you leave yourself open to misunderstandings, to vulnerability, to be taken advantage of, to all these things that are not in your highest good, that will not benefit you. So I feel like I'm being very forceful in this reading with you, because it's not about this is the wrong or the right person. It's, why am I entering this? Am I entering it because I've looked at every single fact, I've taken my time, and I've looked at everything in front of me, good and bad, and I've decided that, yes, I still feel that this is the way I need to go. I am aware and I accept these limitations, negativities, or opportunity costs. I accept that. That is much different than I have this fantasy and I've met the perfect one and he fulfills it or she fulfills it and we're just going to go and live happily ever after. Completely different, right? So one is for your benefit. One takes into account you as a whole person. The other one takes into account your fantasy, which actually really isn't even you. It's talking about the things that you feel that you lack. And so when you jump in based on a fantasy, you're actually jumping in based on lack. And it's fantasy because sometimes fantasies are better left unfulfilled. Because the minute it hits reality, it's kind of like, oh, wait a second, that's what that's going to look like? This perfect job maybe means that I don't get to travel, or this perfect job means that I work long hours from home. Or, dating this person means that I have to do X, Y, and Z, or give up this, or we can't socialize with these people because of that. There's a whole bunch of things that once the fantasy becomes reality, that we don't actually want it to be there. So that's just the point. Your fantasy wants to stay a fantasy. And so either there's going to be an element of sabotage, or there's going to be an element of it just plainly not working out because you're not going to see exactly what you're getting into. So I'm getting the signal to close. So questions about that, please let me know in the comments below. I always love to hear from you, and I invite you to check out trueguidancetarot.com. I'm thinking of offering something special for next week. Readings about how we can better attract and invite and receive love into our lives, whether you're with someone or not. This is really beneficial information. So let me know if that would be interesting. I'd love to hear your opinion. Good luck with this situation, and I will look forward to seeing you next week.